Hi and welcome. If you made it so far, it's the part number 3, the last video dedicated to the topic on how to prepare on the new calls of Horizon Europe. So far, we covered work programs, why they are important, what kind of information you can expect from them. Then we talked about how to interpret and read the call for proposal as such. And now we come to the situation that we finally decided that some of the calls might really be interesting for us. And now it is really crucial and important to understand the structure of that building that was built before you submit your project solution. So we really need to understand what was financed before by the European Commission in the area we are interested in, and based on which we can build our new solution, how to approach this problem with the knowledge of what has been financed so far. So where is this crucial information that would inform us about what was interesting for the European Commission and for evaluators, and how to kind of find our space within this area? I promise I'm going to introduce you to a kind of marvelous tool, and it really is marvelous, because if you have applied for other financial resources, you know how frequently it is difficult to find a list of funded projects or anything at all about previous interests of this funding authority, while European Commission has made published everything from, I think, 4th framework program, so something like 1990. So all information about funded projects is available, and not only lists of projects, but their abstracts, their results, their reports, which is wonderful. So now you enter the world that tells you about what has been financed before. And I'm going to show you how to find relevant information, where to find it, and what all sorts of inspiration and information you can extract from this database. And of course, I'm going to offer you just a couple of opportunities how to work with it. But what is really important is not to forget that this amazing resource is available, because that's the reason why they did it. They tell you, okay, we have financed this so far, so consider what was built across Europe and build something new, add to it, add to the structure. So let's again have a look on the official web pages of European Union, and let's discover together the Cordis database and how it works and how it can help us. So now I'm going again to share with you the online environment, and let's start. So here we are back on the page which we already know, the page which introduces us all the calls that were published, that were closed, that are closed already, the calls that are forthcoming that we can expect in future, but also all the calls for proposals that are being open for the submission. So I sort of start where I ended the last time, and just to update you again or refresh the information, never forget that you can select just the open calls for open for submission. That's important, because you see, if I add closed calls, suddenly I get so many links to calls which already are not active. So I would switch off this closed. I will just look at the calls for proposals which are open for submission. We are interested again in Horizon Europe, and I'm going on with the example of work program number 5, focused on science for society, and there was that cultural, what it was, heritage, which we were playing with in the part 2. So I'm still going to be focused on the topic of cultural heritage, and I'm going to show you how to identify the structure of the building related to cultural heritage topic that has been financed so far. So just a short overview. If you select these open for submission, you select Horizon Europe, you choose your relevant part of the program. So in this case, we chose Science with and for Society, and I sorted the data by deadline of submission the proposals, because if the deadline is something like 10th of January and you still have nothing prepared, it makes really no sense to be engaged with the information in the call because it's too late and you can't prepare a really good project proposal in such a short time. So I would recommend you always, if you want to see the open calls, check for the deadline first, because you really need quite a long time to create a good project proposal. We will talk about this later, but certainly 3 months is kind of really short time if you really want to polish your proposal to become really competitive. So if we talk about all general work programs apart from widening participation, there is really going to be competition across the whole European Union. So you really need to prepare something that is excellent in order to be financed. So be really careful. And in case you consider applying as a coordinator, you really need to take a lot of time to prepare a good proposal. So this is a kind of summary on where to find open calls or forthcoming calls for the next 2 years. And now I'm going to go to the web page because of which we meet today, or I meet my camera, and you probably later are going to meet me. So what is important? We now go to this part. And as you see, the section where they present all the results, all projects that were financed by the Commission, European Commission before. This webpage is called Cordis. So again, you don't have to remember the webpage, the cordis.europa.eu. If you just type to Google Cordis, as you see with C and S at the end, and again, europa.eu in Google, it is going to navigate you towards this web page. What we are particularly interested in is the section related to projects and results. So if I click on this section, you see that I get quite like, this is something what they tend to do here and there. They tend to update the surface or, well, the interface. So it makes it sometimes slightly more difficult to navigate yourself to find the proper data, but doesn't matter. I will show you how to do it. So the key is, of course, this search tool. So just at the beginning, before you put any kind of keyword, I will just show you the environment. So if you click on the search, there is still, as you see, a lot of projects, like 700,000, that's a lot. But so we don't need to search through all of them. So I could either do directly and search cultural heritage in the whole database. How many records? I get 8,000. That's still a lot. So I need to be a little bit more narrow with my search, closer to the period when I want to apply for funding. So it's nice to know what was financed 15 years ago, but the situation changed, the world has changed. So that's the reason why I need to have information on the most up-to-date projects that were financed in the area of cultural heritage by now. So in this moment, what I would do, I would use filters. So number one, as you see, they ask you about collection. And when you just open it, you see, well, I'm interested in projects. Well, you can be interested in results packs and so on, but the more options you choose here, the more information you will get. So what I suggest at the beginning, just select projects because I'm interested what was financed. So I just use projects, that is one thing. And you see, well, it's already a little bit more narrow. It's just 1,400 records in the database, but still it's quite a lot and I don't want to spend too much time. So what I would be interested, number one, are projects about cultural heritage financed by Horizon Europe. But don't forget that Horizon Europe is running, this is the second year. So there won't be that many projects so far because 2 years ago we had first calls. It took some time before the deadline. Then it takes about 8 months before the contracts are signed. So at the moment, couple of projects might be running, and some projects might be still probably in some kind of preparatory phase when they still wait for their contracts being signed. So not certain if the projects are already here. So if I choose just the Horizon Europe and the Cultural Heritage, you see that I already got 79 results on the topic. Okay, that sounds quite good, and I can have a look what is available in terms of these projects. So you see there will always be the name of the project, when it starts and when it ends. This is quite important because you see if the project starts in 2023 and ends in 2025, if I open it, there will be nothing else than just the general information about the project. So you see objective, that's wonderful. So you can read what they were doing. But, you know, I would sort of appreciate more details, what kind of approach they took, what kind of outputs they created, and so on. But this information I still can't get because they still haven't started so far. But what is important, you can see where the coordinator comes from, how much money they get. That's also interesting information. Plus, how many partners are in the consortium team. So again, that tells you what kind of sizes were attractive in terms of project solutions. So you see, there's a sort of coverage from the west to east of Europe, even just countries which are associated, like Ukraine, I believe. I'm not certain at the moment if Ukraine is an associated partner or not. But as you see, they covered everything from east to west. Well, not that much north of Europe, but there might be other project that adds to it from a different regional perspective. So you see quite a lot of partners. What else can I get already from this page? Well, I can look at the other projects that were financed under this particular call for proposal, which is, as you see, focused on protection of artifacts and cultural goods from anthropogenic threats. Sorry, it's difficult to read it. But anyway, if you are interested in other projects that were financed within this call, just have a look. And now I suddenly will get, I don't know, we will see how many projects were financed. 4 projects were financed under this call. So again, when I remember that they were referring that they expect to support between 2 to 3 projects, or probably 4 within the forthcoming calls, then you see, okay, it worked in past as well. Just 4 projects were financed. So now I could look at the geographical coverage, and I could see that probably these all projects together kind of cover the whole European Union. So it gives you a lot of feedback on how to think about your future projects. But as I said, well, these are projects which are sort of just starting. I can't get that many information. So if I look at the rest of them, this looks more promising. It has already started, but just 2 months ago. So what could be finished? Let's have a look. Nothing. I see just the basic fact sheet. So they are going to tell you information about their objectives, but you don't see any kind of results. So that's the reason. The reason is simple. Horizon Europe is only running 2 years, so not many projects are, well, being finished. A couple of them were finished so far in the area of cultural heritage, but not many. So what I would do, well, why to look just at the Horizon Europe if I can have a look a little bit like 3 years ago to Horizon 2020, which is really easy. So instead of using Horizon Europe in your filter, you just return back to programs and select just Horizon 2020. And let's have a look what is there for us if we can get a better inspiration. So already 500 projects. That's quite a lot. So you can use all sorts of filters. So again, I will keep it just this way because I wanted to show you what kind of information you can extract from the projects that were that started a little bit earlier and that are probably just being finished or in the middle of their performation or whatever. So let's have a look just at the first one. So you see they started in 2021. So this is the 2nd year they are running. So they are somewhere a little bit later than in the middle of the project. So couple of things could be finished by now. And this is when the game starts to be funny. Because when you open it, so apart from this fact sheet, which you could see in all those projects that have just started, you can also see all the information related to reporting. So suddenly they tell you about all objectives of the projects. They will talk about work that they have performed so far. Wonderful. They tell you all sorts of things. They also tell you what kind of results they have achieved so far. So you can see the documents they have created. You can see anything else they have created, websites, any kind of publications. So suddenly you can identify what kind of outputs could be attractive for your funding authority, in this case, European Commission. But again, be careful and don't create any kind of conclusions based on just one project. You need, just like in any kind of review, to select kind of sample to create a better picture in relation to what is important, what is attractive, because not every solution is a good solution for your situation in terms, for example, of outputs or deliverables. So just have a look, and all this information that is available on Cordis will help you to create more specific picture in relation to what has been built so far in the European research area or across the Europe. So why we do this exercise is just, this is important exercise for us to give us more input on how to turn the kind of general or abstract text of the call into something practical, into real life. As I said the last time, there is the reason why they use quite kind of big language in the text of call for proposals. And the reason is, okay, we have a problem, and we have the money, but okay, we give the experts the space to react on the problem and to come up with solutions. So now you can see what kind of approaches can be taken and are attractive to the funding authority in practice. So these are projects that were selected to be financed by experts during evaluation. By the way, I will talk about evaluation principles and how the projects are being evaluated later. But still, this is how the general text of the call is being transformed into real life. And this is why it is so important to make this kind of review before you start to build your own solution. So I definitely recommend it if you plan widening to apply for widening participation, some of the widening participation calls. Just check what is successful, what is attractive, what works. Because particularly in this work program number 11, there are topics related to the fact that you can get money for creating your project management teams and training them, and them writing new project proposal in the framework of already running project. So this is wonderful. Who gives you money for writing new projects? That doesn't happen that frequently. And here is a resource where you can do it. But they expect you to build your own project management team and train the team by this project. So again, have a look how they do it, how the others, what kind of approach the others took in order to collect good ideas, generate kind of ideas pools, how they worked on creating new projects and how they created their project management teams. And the same refers to any kind of field you would be interested in. So just like I did, I started with the cultural heritage. So you can start, well, we can, for example, do another exercise. So let's say I'm interested in textile. So I just do the textile. Okay, I got 437 projects related to textile, and I selected Horizon 2020. So see that I'm still focused on the period before Horizon Europe, because these projects are either still running or sort of are still relevant to Horizon Europe. And as you see, just the first one started in 2018 and it's still running. It's somewhere in the middle. So I see, wow, that sounds like something that can give me some kind of feedback. So obviously, you see, even with European Research Council, I can be obviously successful with a topic related to textile. Well, it is related, obviously, to labor force related to textile industry, but still it is textile and it depends what is your interest. So again, you can textile, I can do a fabric, and probably I will get a little bit more narrow results. You see just 117. And again, okay, this is a good project because not yet finished. So if I look inside, you see that you again get the fact sheets, so I can get some information on how much money they got, how many partners are there. So let's have a look. Who is the coordinator? In this case, it is Universiteit Twente. And all sorts of things again. So you can have a look on what other projects were financed in this call. If you think that there might be more projects related to textile industry. And again, I'm really interested in these two sections. I would like to see their reporting because they can tell me what they have done so far, which is wonderful. So you see work performed from the very beginning, which is really interesting for many of us. By the way, just when I came across this information, I think I'm going to share it with one of my colleagues because she is interested exactly in this topic. So you just never know what kind of inspiration you can get in Cordis. So in this case, I already know that I'm going to send it to someone who is engaged in this area, in this field. And why is it important? Well, these are your potential partners. These might be partners for your future project. You might kind of start to collaborate with them whenever you do go to a conference and you know that these people are there. So you have a topic to talk about because you know that they were active in this project. So you can ask them about their experience, about their results. And this is the way how you can improve your networking opportunities. So as I said, Cordis is a really valuable resource. And whenever I'm lost in any kind of topic, when I have new clients or when I need an inspiration myself for new projects, I just go here and have a look because you never know what your mind can come up with when you see some interesting information. So you just saw it online in real life. I saw this project and I see an inspiration that it might help to someone else whom I know. So even if this video is just focused on helping you and introducing you Cordis. So in this online session, I already got a new inspiration for myself. Well, so there is one more function I would like to show you when it comes to Cordis. And so once you have this list of projects that you got from your search, you can see that here is an option that you can add the project into the booklet, which is wonderful. So you can just go through it and choose the project you are interested in, and you can generate your booklet later. So all the search is going to be stored, but be careful. You need to create your account. So either you already have an account with this portal, or you need to create a new one. But again, this is an important moment when you go to register, because once you register with this portal, it is going to be your account for everything, for submitting a proposal, for offering your expertise as an expert. So I'm going to dedicate one video specifically to registering as an expert and creating your profile and how to work with it. So, but anyway, once you are logged in, unfortunately, I'm not logged in because I keep on forgetting my password and I just refreshed it yesterday and well, I can't update it a day later. So I again have to wait and update my password the next week. So, but I think you are brave enough and you can log in yourself and try, and then you can generate your booklet. So if I'm not mistaken, I downloaded the booklet somewhere. Oh yeah, here it is. So now I can share it with you, but okay, it works. Wonderful. So this is an example which I have generated. So as I have shown you, I selected the projects I would be interested in. I added them to my booklet. And once I would be finished with checking the results of my search, I can just generate this booklet. So it means that you can even include list of projects inside the content page. You can name it. Well, there are quite a lot of options how you can play with this document so that you can later have a look on what you have found. So actually these projects are projects that I've found under the search focus on Horizon Europe. So you will see there are most of the times just the fact sheets and nothing else. While if you select the projects that already have reports and so on, so you can again choose what you want to include in your booklet. But be careful, sometimes people tend to include a lot of publications. So the other day I created booklet where, for example, just for one project, there were about 300 or 200 publications. So it was quite thick. So be careful what you include in your booklet. Well, and I think this is all about Cordis. You really need to learn to explore it. As you saw when you go to this web page, you can start directly with the search, textile, fabrics, and let's have a look where I get 51 results. So, well, it's a bit like you need to experiment and see in which direction it leads you towards the best results. But what is always useful is once you see the calls that were sort of related to your search, so always look at, this is, as you see, final report summary. I'm not interested in reports, so I need to return back to filters, go to the collections and just look at the projects, so that I'm not wasting time with some kind of detailed information. I want to get the overview. So this time you see I got just 18 results. So as any kind of database, it depends on your inquiry, how you start and where you start from. But what I always recommend, probably as the best way to navigate really what you get, just get to these filter section, choose that you want just projects, select, wow, what is going to happen? So then select either Horizon Europe or Horizon 2020, and then go on. Then this is the moment when I would do the, well, fabrics, textile and fabrics. And let's see how many, now I get 325 records. So that sounds much better than 51. And I can just have a look and see it is going to navigate me towards the calls in the frame of which these projects were financed. So it will tell you again back about the work programs within which you can get financed. By the way, when I did this search on cultural heritage, it directed me not only to work program related to science and society in Horizon 2020, but also to the calls related to digitalization, IT, and so on. So it was really interesting to see that something that I was telling you during the first video, that you never know in which work program you can fit with your topic. Well, I think that this could be the best time to finish this last video focused on how to prepare for forthcoming and open calls for proposals in the second programming period of Horizon Europe. I hope it made some kind of sense. Those were really, as I said, the very first product we created for you. I will now stop sharing. And I really hope that it will bring you some kind of inspiration. These are steps I would take myself when I would be interested in project or when I would be helping my clients. So I need to create for my own head some kind of map, navigation, whatever you call it, but you need to get more immersed into your topics from the European perspective. So Cordis is a wonderful tool for that. So try Cordis, experiment with it. Even, by the way, if you don't want to submit any kind of project proposals, but it can navigate you towards interesting outputs, interesting data, interesting activities of teams. Because, by the way, whenever you do a review or whenever you search for articles on certain topics, these are already finished experiments, results of research that was already performed. While here you see what is being done at the moment. You see what teams are working on. So this is information that is sometimes so difficult to get. And suddenly, here it is, served to you, open, free of charge. So it's up to you whether you are going to utilize this amazing advantage. So even if you have a specific field of interest, just try to run it through Horizon Europe or Horizon 2020. As you saw, be specific about under which program you would like to get the results. Because as you see, when I started this general search, I got just 51 results. And when I selected that I want to search in the frame of Horizon 2020 projects, which is the previous framework program, 8th framework program, I got much more results. So it can give me better picture. So just experiment. You see, it takes 30 minutes, half an hour. So if you have spare time, just have a look at this and see what kind of inspiration you can get out of it. And I will be really glad to hear from you in comments whether you found something inspiring on Cordis and whether you consider, well, let's not talk about how easy it is to navigate in this database. They always try to update it, but the truth is data is there. So it's up to us to find some good way how to work with this database and how to get maximum information out of it. Because as I said, it is free and it's up to date. So it tells us quite a lot. And by this highly positive information, I would like to finish our trilogy of videos related to how to prepare, how to get ready for new calls of Horizon Europe. And well, I will focus on a lot of topics we are going to create together with my colleagues, lots of other videos that are going to inspire you in all sorts of areas. So from Marie Sklodowska-Curie projects to widening participation or partnership. Oh, I can't remember now how exactly the work program is called. But anyway, we will talk about how to improve your English. We will talk about project management. We will talk about financing, just sort of everything from transferable skills we are interested in. And that can help you when you want to be successful with your research career. So let's hope that this channel is going to fulfill our objective. And our objective is to provide you with inspiration so that your research life might become a bit easier in terms of project writing, applying for money, and so on. So lots of success with your research work. Lots of success with project proposal writing. And if we inspire you, don't forget to subscribe, because we are not going to send that many emails announcing the existence of this YouTube channel. So please, if you consider it useful, share with your colleagues and tell them to hit the subscribe button, because this is the best way how they can be updated on the new videos we are going to cover. And we have loads of plans, so there will be a lot of them. And the idea is not to make them longer than 30, 40 minutes. Well, I will be happy with 20 minutes. Sometimes I'm going to add really short ones just to introduce some kind of concepts. Yeah, but we will see. Anyway, thank you for your attention. It was lovely to have you here. And hopefully we will see in real life as well. Goodbye. Well, that's the bit.